Hello everyone, welcome to IPM IAS Academy's daily news highlights, and today is 2nd of August 2024. Let's see what are the important news for today's discussion. And before that, if you have not yet subscribed IPM IAS Academy YouTube channel, please do subscribe the channel and enable the bell icon so that you will continue to get the updates regarding civil service examinations and current affairs. State can subclassify scheduled caste for quota. Top quote. 7-judge Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court holds that subcategorization within a class is a constitutional requirement to secure substantive equality. If the social position of a constituent is not comparable, says apprehensions of potential political tinkering cannot obviate the constitutional need for acknowledging inequality among scheduled caste. So here they are talking about the subclassification in the scheduled caste. In a 6:1 majority judgment on Thursday, a 7-judge Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court headed by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud held that the states have the right to subclassify scheduled caste notified in the presidential list to provide them more preferential treatment in public employment and education. So the objective is here to provide more involvement in public employment and education. So in the Indira Sahni case, the Constitution Bench came up with a verdict that we can actually divide the backward classes into backward and also more backward. The same principle we can apply in the scheduled caste category also. The principle of the subclassification will be applicable to scheduled caste if the social position of the constituents among the caste or groups is not comparable. So, if the social position of the constituent is not comparable, then we can actually come up with this subclassification. The subcategorization within a class is a constitutional requirement to secure substantive equality. So, if needed, if we need to ensure equality, then it is okay for us to come with the subclassification. There is another important mention about introducing the creamy layer in the scheduled caste category. The creamy layer principle to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, as in the case of other backward classes category, it was necessary to exclude affluent individuals or families from the benefits of reservation and make room for the underprivileged within these classes. Basically, why do we have creamy layer facility in the other backward category? It is to understand whoever is the affluent or whoever is well off in that category, they should be excluded from getting any kind of reservations. So that is the reason why we are having creamy layer in the category. The state must evolve a policy for identifying creamy layer even from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes so as to exclude them from benefit of affirmative action. So whenever the state is taking affirmative action for the benefit of the people, that should reach the people who deserve that. It should not be going to the affluent. Why? Because the affluent, they can take care of their aspects. They don't need reservation in jobs, they don't need reservation in education, but those who need it, they should get it. So that is the principle applied here. It is the duty of the state to give preferential treatment to the backward class of citizens who are not adequately represented. D.Y. Chandrachud also traced the power of these states to subclassify the scheduled caste for the purpose of affirmative action, including reservations, to Article 15(4) prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion, caste, etc., and 16(5) equal opportunity in public employment of the Constitution. So the Constitution Bench has clearly mentioned the importance of subclassifying the scheduled caste category. Okay, and what are the benefits associated with it? Based on this article, you need to understand about the reservation in our country, and especially right to equality, Article 16 and Article 15. Very, very important to understand that. And in the Constitution, where do we mention about the scheduled caste? Okay, which are the articles that are actually dealing with the scheduled caste and special provisions for them? That needs to be understood in a thorough manner. And here they have clearly mentioned about Article 15(4) and Article 16(5). That needs to be understood. Okay, so another important area is the creamy layer. What is the importance of creamy layer and how creamy layer is applied to the other backward classes? So what is the principle applied there, and how we can actually take that principle and apply it in the scheduled caste category also. So all these points you need to understand, and this particular article is coming in page number 1, General Studies 2, Indian Polity. Above normal rain in August, La Nina could intensify September precipitation, says IMD. IMD is India Meteorological Department, IMD. Amid rain triggered landslides killing over 200 people in Wayanad of Kerala and intense spells battering Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, the India Meteorological Department has forecast above normal rain in August and September. So this is a warning sign for all of us that in the month of August and September we can expect more rain, heavy rain we can expect. The rainfall averaged over the entire country from August to September is likely to be above normal. Our weather model suggests that La Nina or La Nina like conditions are likely to develop towards the end of August. So this could mean more rain in September than normal. So it is very important to understand that the La Nina is affecting this higher rainfall in the country, especially in the month of August and September. And what do you mean by this La Nina? La Nina is a climate phenomenon characterized by cooling of the sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, and it is opposite phase of the El Nino Southern Oscillation or ENSO. So basically you need to understand about La Nina. So when this La Nina phenomenon is happening in the Pacific Ocean or in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, and how it is actually affecting the rainfall pattern in India, and why it is affecting the rainfall pattern in India, that is also need to be understood. So with this article we need to understand about what is La Nina, what is El Nino, and there is something else known as the ENSO, that is El Nino Southern Oscillation also. So these principles, the geographical phenomenons or climate phenomenon, you need to understand very carefully, because that always affect the rainfall pattern in our country. So based on this article you need to understand about IMD also. What is the purpose of IMD, what are the functions of IMD, you need to have an idea. So make sure that La Nina, El Nino and the role of IMD, these points are important, and please do read about it, understand about it and make your own notes. And it is coming in page number 1, General Studies 3, Environment, and we can also put it in the Geography, Climatology, etc. Disaster Management Bill tabled in Lok Sabha. The Union Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai on Thursday introduced the Disaster Management Amendment Bill 2024 in the Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to create a disaster database at national and state level. So the first objective is to creating a disaster database at national and the state level, and makes provision for constitution of Urban Disaster Management Authority for state capitals and large cities having municipal corporations, except the union territories of Delhi and Chandigarh. The article talks about the Urban Disaster Management Authority and their role in the state capitals and large cities. So that is clearly mentioned here, and that is what they are going to introduce in the bill also. The database will include disaster assessment, fund allocation detail, expenditure, preparedness and mitigation plan, risk register according to type and severity of the risk, and such other relevant matters in accordance with such policy as may be determined by the union government. So it is a comprehensive change that is they are going to bring in. So whenever they are creating a database for the union and the state level, so we can see that it includes a disaster assessment, it includes fund allocation details, it includes the expenditures, it includes the preparedness and the mitigation plan, etc. So all these features are included in this particular bill. The bill empowers the National Disaster Management Authority and the State Disaster Management Authorities to prepare the disaster plan at national level and state level. So now the National Disaster Management Authority and the State Disaster Management Authority is having an upper hand, because they are having the database, they are having all the details about the disasters, so that they can plan accordingly. they can immediately take action accordingly. So that is the advantage of having this particular bill. Based on this article, please read more about this particular bill, what are the major changes they are going to bring in this particular bill, etc., and how it is contributing to the disaster management authority in our country. So this article is coming in page number 4, General Studies 2 and Indian Polity. 4 dead as cloudburst wreak havoc in Himachal Pradesh. So this is also something associated with the climate issues. 49 missing in the state. Chief Minister Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu urged people to stay away from rivers amid forecasts of more rain. Prime Minister directs officials to ensure all possible assistance to the affected area. The 4 people were killed and 49 missing following the multiple incidents of cloudbursts in Shimla, Mandi and Kulu districts of Himachal Pradesh, where torrential rain has left several rivers in a spate. Okay, so it is actually affecting the country at different levels. Okay, so in the southern region you could see that it is affecting Kerala. In the northern regions you could see that it is affecting the Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So what is the major problem here they are mentioning about? It is the cloudburst they are mentioning about. So what is this cloudburst? Cloudburst means it is an intense short duration rainfall that can cause sudden and severe flooding. So it is intense and it is a short duration only, but during that time the amount of rain that we receive is really high. These downpours usually occur over a small area and can lead to rapid accumulation of water, overwhelming drainage systems and causing flash floods. Okay, sudden floods you will be able to experience in such circumstances. So what do you mean by flash flood? Sudden heavy rainfall can cause rivers, streams and urban drainage systems to overflow. That is the flash flood. That is also an immediate a sudden phenomena. So with this respect, the Himachal Pradesh government has asked for help from the Indian Army and Indian Air Force. So based on the weather forecast, there is more possibility for rain in the next 36 hours. So more vigilance is actually needed in that area. And the same case is actually applicable in Uttarakhand also. 14 people died and 10 were injured in heavy overnight rain that triggered flooding and a house collapses as several rivers swelled in Uttarakhand, officials said on Thursday. So we are already familiar with the flood, the Uttarakhand flood that happened around 10 years back, and how it actually affected the entire region during that time. So now the same kind of vigilance is actually needed for us to counter all these kinds of problems and natural calamities. In an official statement, the Uttarakhand government said the center has dispatched 2 Indian Air Force helicopters to aid rescue operations in the state after Prime Minister's office took stock of the situation. So we could see that in these 2 areas our government is trying their level best to ensure the rescue mission is happening in a very smooth manner. So this particular news is actually coming in page number 4, General Studies 3, and it is a part of environment, geography, climate change, etc. Okay, so please read about it, and in this context try to understand more about cloudburst, try to understand about flash flood and why this is actually happening. In the last news we also discussed about La Nina, the principle of La Nina. All those things will be applied here also. Okay, so whenever you are actually learning about the flash floods and the heavy rains, you should also understand about 2 types of rainfall seasons or rainy seasons that we experience. That is, one is the southwest monsoon season and the northeast monsoon season. A verdict on money bills that India awaits. So here in this particular article, they are mainly discussing about money bill, how to define money bill, and how the Supreme Court has taken this case into consideration. In the coming weeks, a 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court of India is slated to hear arguments over critical questions governing the contours of a money bill. The court's ultimate ruling will have ramifications on a slew of legislation that has been enacted in recent years without the Rajya Sabha's approval. So basically, the entire article is revolving around money bill, and they also mention about the Rajya Sabha. So when you generally look at the money bill, you could see that Rajya Sabha is having very less significance compared to Lok Sabha in the aspects of money bill. Lok Sabha is having an upper hand in all matters related to the money bills. So here they are trying to question that. Okay, they are and also they are trying to bring in an important case that was actually happened in 2019, that is Roger Matthew versus South Indian Bank Limited, in which the Finance Act 2017 was under challenge. The act, which was passed after its certification as a money bill, radically altered authority and jurisdiction of 26 different tribunals. It abolished some of these bodies, merged together others, prescribed qualifications for appointment of members, and imposed various other stipulations, including conditions of service. So when they have introduced this particular bill and made it as a money bill, they made a lot of changes in that area. Under the India's constitutional structure, a bill to turn into a law, it must obtain the sanction of both houses of the parliament. So usually that is the procedure in our parliament. If you want to pass a particular bill, then it has to go through both the houses, and their decisions are actually important for us. In Article 109 allows money bills to be enacted as law only with the Lok Sabha's approval. So there is actually a change. That means in all other bills, we need the approval of Rajya Sabha. But with regard to money bill, as per Article 109, we do not require, okay, the Rajya Sabha's approval as such. Okay, then the Rajya Sabha may make a recommendation on the bill, but any suggestions from it would not bind the Lok Sabha in any way. So it is like, okay, you can come up with some recommendations, but we will decide whether to incorporate it or not. Okay, that is the point here. Article 110(1) of the Indian Constitution actually provides some important details which are incorporated in the money bill. That is like, it details a list of subjects including the imposition or abolition of a tax, the regulation of the borrowings of money, the appropriation of cash out of the Consolidated Fund of India, and any matter incidental to the specified subjects. So long as the draft law contains only provisions dealing with all or any of the matters enlisted in the clause, it would be deemed a money bill. So they have clearly in the Constitution, they have clearly mentioned about what type of bill should be considered as a money bill, and if that bill is carrying any of these features that we have actually mentioned right now, then it can be termed as a money bill. And in the case of a money bill, the decision of Lok Sabha is supreme, the decision of Rajya Sabha is not binding. Okay, that is the most prominent aspect. Article 110(3) of the Constitution further makes it clear that the Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall have the final say in determining whether a proposed legislation is a money bill or not. So, in the matters of a conflict between whether a bill is a money bill or not, who is having the authority to decide it? The Speaker of the Lok Sabha is having the authority to decide that is a money bill or not. In that discussion, they will come up with an answer, a conclusion on various aspects concerning the money bill. So here we understood that Rajya Sabha has less significance and Lok Sabha has having a high upper hand over the money bill and aspects. So based on this article, you need to read about what is a money bill, what is a finance bill, and how money bill is actually different from a finance bill, and what are the various details or subjects that actually makes a particular bill a money bill. Okay, and which are the main articles that are dealing with money bill, and whether annual financial statement is a money bill or not. All those points you need to understand, and the provisions related to it in the parliament. The Rajya Sabha is an indispensable constituent unit of the federal backbone of the constitution. Justice Chandrachud wrote, potential differences between two houses of the parliament cannot be resolved by simply ignoring the Rajya Sabha. In a federal polity such as ours, the efficacy of a constitutional body created to subserve the purpose of a deliberate dialogue cannot be defeated by immunizing from judicial review the decision of the speaker to certify a bill as a money bill. So here also D.Y. Chandrachud, our Chief Justice of India, is mentioning about the importance of Rajya Sabha, because we clearly understood that in the case of a money bill, and to pass the money bill in the parliament, we do not require the decision or the support of the Rajya Sabha. But He is saying that Rajya Sabha is a very critical element of our federal structure, so we cannot ignore its presence. So in the matters of money bill, a government's performance is actually involved. Why? Because everyday government is having their day-to-day aspects, which involves money also, and they need to take money, they need to deal with treasury, etc. In such kind of matters, in such kind of daily affairs, the involvement of Rajya Sabha should not be there. The Rajya Sabha's check, if it comes there, then there are chances like it will get delayed, it will get stopped, etc. So such type of involvement should not be there, and that is why the government is ensuring that Rajya Sabha's role should not be there in defining or deciding the money bill. But the fundamental question is, we are dealing with the money of the people, and we are living in a democratic country. In such a country, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both are constituted by these people only, by the constitution only. So in such a country, should we go this practice unchecked? Okay, or should we check this particular practice? That is the question that the judiciary is raising. Okay, in this regard, try to understand about the proceedings in the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the relevance of both houses, and especially in connection with passing of an ordinary bill and money bill. So ordinary bill passage and money bill passage is actually different. Okay, that is what we are actually mentioning here. So how the money bills are passed in the parliament, try to understand about it, and why. What is the genuine reason why they are not including Rajya Sabha in this particular process? Okay, try to read about it and understand about it. This particular article is coming in page number 8, General Studies 2, Indian Polity. Propelling the UK and India story. So we know that both are democratic countries, and we just witnessed the elections, and through the elections we got our next governments also, and both these governments are trying to come up with a free trade agreement, trying to improve their relations in the international arena. All these points we know that. So based on this article, we need to understand more about what are our connection points, what are the major areas of our alignment, major areas of our collaboration, etc. We will be able to understand from this particular article. So the first one is regarding the India-UK Free Trade Agreement, which is to deepen the cooperation on security, technology, climate change, and education. And it is good to see that the UK Secretary of State of Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, David Lammy, visit India within a month of taking the office. So that was also a positive sign in our relationship with UK. India's global position is undisputed. Its immensely successful G20 presidency in 2023, remarkable moon landing, primacy in digital public infrastructure, and soon to be the world's third largest economy are testament to this. So this clearly indicates that how India is actually understood by other countries, the major countries in the world, and what is the potential of our country, etc. A swift FTA, free trade agreement, would be a game changer, but it is the foundation of a new structure we can build. The central to the structure is technology and R&D collaboration. So in various multiple areas you could see this collaboration going on. India has the best return on investment ROI per dollar of R&D spent in the world. Look at what the Indian Space Research Organization has achieved. Equally, Indian firms are eager to work with UK companies and our world-class universities. So basically in various areas we are trying to propagate our relationships, and let us see some of the important areas of our alignment. One is the science and innovation. Okay, innovation, and the other area is India and UK are natural partners in defense and security. The UK once provided most of India's defense equipment, and today it has mere 2.5% market share. India is focused on indigenization, building reliable defense technology supply chains, exploring access to critical technology, increasing exports, and creating domestic manufacturing jobs. The UK's mature and sophisticated defense industry can support this mission. So in our journey to make indigenous products or indigenous defense products in our country, UK can greatly support us in this particular journey. The mobility is another important area where two countries seamlessly align. So what do you mean by this mobility here? Getting this right for students and skilled professionals is vital. Mobility, the movement. It will impart trust and of mutual confidence, sending a strong message to Indian investors that the UK is welcoming. The UK has a positive story to tell on mobility. Over last year, about 3,50,000 visas have been issued to Indian nationals for work, education, or as dependents. So these are some of the areas where we are highly collaborated, but we can do a lot. Okay, in the upcoming years, in the upcoming time period, we can actually do a lot of engagements, and for that we have to do something from our side, and they also have to do something from their side. Both initiatives are needed here. So the British companies are committed to manufacturing in India and welcome policies that help integrate India into their supply chains without impacting their efficiency. For example, if the British companies want to come here for manufacturing, our tariff policy should be supportive to them. Then only they'll be able to come here. Otherwise, it will be huge loss for them, right? So we need to take the responsibility for that. Okay, to making easy way for them to come here and do collaborative projects. Then it is essential to have taxation policies and regulatory treatments that ensure parity and level playing field across all investors. British investors are keen to bring and co-create with new intellectual property in India with new partners if policies can provide adequate protection and commercial compensation for the intellectual property. So they are ready, the British investors are ready to bring in and co-create with Indian firms. Indian firms for the intellectual property. Ease of doing business optimization, such as shorter timelines for approvals and more consistent transparent approach across government departments, states and regulators for clearances are also important. So whenever there is a business is initiated, so a lot of technical and systemic adjustments are actually needed here. So those things we need to do it in a proper manner to attract them for a better, smooth and efficient functioning. We will continue working closely with both the governments to deepen the strong bilateral economic partnerships that improves lives globally. India is the most exciting economic story today. We are at the beginning of the Indian century, making it a great time to join forces for a greater good. Mr. Modi's statement is that the more your friendship deepens with India, the more prosperity accrues to both, sets the tone for a shared future. The recent visit of the UK Secretary of State, we could see that they are also eager to have a very cordial relation with us. And in this article, we are able to understand what are the major areas of our collaboration. But that is not enough. You need to read about it and you need to understand more points regarding on which all areas India and UK is connected and how can we bring this, this relationship to the next level. You need to have an idea. So this is coming in page number 8, General Studies 2, International Relations. So apart from these news, there are some other news which are there in the Hindu newspaper today. One is related with the Uniform Civil Code. So try to understand about Uniform Civil Code because that is really important. It was always there in the discussion last year also. So try to understand about what is Uniform Civil Code. It is already mentioned in our DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Then another important news is regarding the UPSC aspirants and their psychological well-being. How the UPSC preparation is affecting their psychological well-being. To ensure that the civil service aspirants should have a very smooth journey in their preparation, IPM IAS Academy has already initiated the psychological well-being sessions last year onwards. Those sessions are already shared with all of you in the YouTube channel. So I will also put those links in the description so that you can also go through those sessions. Those are exclusively designed for civil service aspirants only because we clearly know this journey, the struggle that a civil service aspirant undergoes in this particular journey. So here we need a proper attitude. Our mindset should be very clear. We should have a positive thinking perspective. All these things are relevant and important for this preparation, and if you are in that state of mind, your preparation will be really easy and you will be happy to read, happy to learn and happy to reproduce that. Another major important announcement is regarding the guided PCM course 2025. So here we have prelims and mains coaching. All these features are available in the program, and you will be able to study at your own convenience. Wherever you will be able to study, and this is ideal for students working professionals and passionate IAS aspirants, and you will have validity for 6 months and also for 1 year. For beginners, we advise you to take the 1-year program, and for those who are already prepared ones, you can actually go for 6 months program. And you will have a scholarship test link in the description. Please go through the scholarship test and take this test, so that based on your marks you will get some reductions in the fee also. So after you take the test, our team will contact you and they will discuss you about the details of the program. So thank you so much. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it is helpful for you, please subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, so that they will also continue to get the updates regarding civil service examination preparation journey and also current affairs. Thank you.